Hello, fellow Americans. So, last night I was on YouTube trying to figure out which videos I wanted to pull to use on my video. And folks, let me just say, there are some people out there that need Jesus. So I was thinking for this video, we have a lot of politicians coming out of California that have decided that they are more than qualified to run this country that I live in. Although many of them have never been to Middle America a day in their life. So I was thinking for this video, we'd take a look and see how California, the state of California, is holding up under all this leadership of these Democratic parties. And maybe if we're lucky, we just might get to interview a couple of these politicians that are wanting to run for president. So buckle up, folks, because here we go. We're about to take a drive through California.
They are our VIPs. They're our purpose, our very important people.
Now, who do you think Pelosi's talking about? Do you think Pelosi's talking about all of the veterans and the high suicide rate within that particular group of Americans? Or could she be talking about American senior citizens that spent 50 years contributing to the American workforce?
It's beautiful to our ears to hear your protection, your self-dignity.
Oh, so it turns out that Nancy's talking about all the illegals that have flooded America. I get it. Thanks for clarifying that. A room full of screeching, narcissistic, ungrateful teenagers is music to her ears, but the Star-Spangled Banner pisses her off? Yeah, Nancy, you need Jesus. Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, and Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters. What do you think about illegals flooding American streets and assaulting and terrorizing American citizens because we said they have to live by our rule?
They are our VIPs. They're our purpose, our very important people.
But let's not forget what Auntie Maxine had to say about things like this.
You see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Don't you know when Nancy got back home, she called old Auntie Maxine up and said, "Girl, knock that shit off. This beast we created, it's starting to turn on me." Let's take a look at what some fellow California residents have to say about this influx of illegal and how good they're doing in California versus Mexico and South America.
Childhood poverty. Since 2007, the number of children living in poverty in the state of California has steadily increased. At the rate the poverty is growing in California, they could theoretically pass Mississippi in poverty by 2025. You know you're in bad shape when you're gaining ground on Mississippi in sucking. This stat is just as bad as it sounds. 59% of all students attending California public schools now qualify for free or reduced price school lunches. To qualify, the family's income must be around 30% lower than the poverty line. In the 1990s, 10% of the students qualified. Now, almost 60%.
Let me make sure I have this right. None of those parents can afford to send their child to school with a sandwich and a piece of fruit, but every last one of them can afford to have a satellite dish hanging off their balcony? Them people need Jesus. Cory Booker, you are a California politician, and you have remained completely silent as your entire party has demanded that the American taxpayer foot the bill for all these illegals.
I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus.
That's all you got to say? Cory Booker, you need Jesus.
How dare you?
Hold on a sec. I'm gonna get me a beer.
Alrighty, folks. I realize that Elizabeth Warren is not from California, but she is part of the Democratic Party, and that shit's just weird.
We are sending a message to our parents that this fight will be won with 11 million people in the streets.
I'm undocumented, my family's undocumented, and majority of the people here are undocumented.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this message correctly. All these illegals from Mexico and South America didn't have a fight in them to stand and fight for their own country, but once they get to America, they're more than willing to fight like hell for their rights here. Well, let me tell you what I got to say about it.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Wonder why they wouldn't want to fight for their rights in their homeland. Inquiring minds want to know. These people need Jesus. Kamala Harris, another California politician. So tell me, what do you think about illegals participating in our elections? driving up the popular vote to make it look like something that it is not.
Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren, had a town hall last night, and she said that she thinks we should do away with the Electoral College. Do you agree with that?
I think that I'm open to the discussion. I mean, there's no question that the popular vote has been diminished in terms of making the final decision about who's the president of the United States, and we need to deal with that.
Let's listen to what some independent journalists have to say and how well California has held up under all this Democratic rule for all these decades.
Fires sweeping the state. Businesses have been shut down due to the rampant homelessness problem. There's a rampant homelessness problem, dirt, filth, disease, the return of bubonic plague, medieval diseases, typhus outbreaks. California, what is going on?
What do you think about illegals flooding American streets, waving Mexican flags, assaulting American residents?
They are our VIPs. They're our purpose, our very important people.
He was chased down like prey. He ran until finding some police officers who stopped his attackers.
They are our VIPs. They're our purpose, our very important people.
Well, folks, I guess I'll wrap this video up by saying this. I think it's bad enough that illegals steal our identities and we are stuck trying to resolve the issue and get everything squared away, and the burden is put back on us. I think it's bad enough that illegals take these stolen identities and they open up accounts, because rest assured, businesses do not write off that bad debt. What they do is redistribute it to the rest of our schmucks that actually pay the bills. But where I absolutely, positively draw the line is for an illegal to sneak into this country and assume a privilege that is exclusively held for us American citizens. And that is voting. And that is deciding who our leadership is and what the tone of our country will be.
Walmart fights crime.
84 in St. Pete right now. Got a Pokemon? She's looking for Pokemon right now. This is the location. You guys gotta be careful with these phones. It's Pokemon. You're just walking around all over the place.
I just kept hearing it. I'm ducking and everything. Died in the house. I got scared. I dropped my hot pocket.
Check your panties. About 175,000 rice. I think that was supposed to be pantries.